Amos Nyaribo, the governor of Nyamira County, was the requisite threshold for passage of a motion for the removal of a governor from office by impeachment, being 2/3 of the members of the county assembly, as provided for in section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 62 of the Standing Orders of the County Assembly of Nyamira, is 24 of the members of the County Assembly, and was not met. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to uphold the preliminary objection that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order number 62 of the County Assembly of Nyamira was not met, and forthwith terminates the hearing on the proceedings on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Nyaribo, the governor of Nyamira County. Mr. Speaker, let me first take time to explain what this motion means. We must celebrate the Senate for how refined our process have become over time. Previously, Mr. Speaker, when we have been faced before this session, by previously I mean before this current Senate, the 13th Parliament, we previously had similar situations where a county assembly will come before the Senate and they'd argue that we have impeached our governor and therefore proceed and listen to this case. And the previous ruling that had been given by the office of the Speaker, which many of us disagreed with and felt was a great travesty of justice, the greatest that has ever happened on the floor of this House, was a ruling that was made back then that an impeachment process ends at the Assembly, and what the Senate needs to look at is a case and the material of it, then make a determination whether that case, whether a case has been made for the impeachment of that governor or not. However, in this present session of the Senate, we have since evolved and refined our processes better to a point where when there is a preliminary objection, the House makes a decision first, which is a good thing, Mr. Speaker, because I believe that with the coming of age of our county assemblies, together with us here in the Senate, we must continue to make the case that there is no alternative to the law. The law is the law, Mr. Speaker. We may not agree with it, it may not be in our favor today, but it is that which binds us and keeps us as a civil society. Anything in the absence of the law, Mr. Speaker, is anarchy. And in the rule of the jungle, it favors nobody. Those in power today or those that don't find the favor of the powers that be. And therefore, we must continue to make the case that in looking into the proceedings such as this, we must first satisfy ourselves as a House of the Senate that the process and the procedure went in tandem as ascribed and prescribed in law, Mr. Speaker. Section 33 of the County Governments Act, you'd believe that a plain reading of that section of the law, Mr. Speaker, is something that everybody can easily interpret. In fact, earlier today, while listening to the proceedings, Mr. Speaker, I walked over to the clerk and asked them that what happened to what we used to have back then called the Legislative Summit. I remember attending it 2016 and the subsequent years, because it used to provide a very good forum for exchange of ideas on procedure and processes between the Senate and the 47 county assemblies, Mr. Speaker. Because looking at this case, looking at the case of the two impeachments by Kericho, looking at the Isiolo case, it is clear, Mr. Speaker, that there is need for this House, as a House that protects the interests of county governments, must set in law the procedure and make it black and white clear to our colleagues from the county assembly of what is it that the Senate considers to be a foolproof process of the impeachment of a county governor, which when you undertake and you bring it here, we go straight to the process of listening to what your dispute is. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is not to tell the people of Nyamira, through their representatives, that there are no issues in Nyamira. There might be issues, and indeed, listening, because I happen to come from the region, and I know that there are many things. Remember, Mr. Speaker, in this House, we've entertained and even listened and tried to reconcile two factions of the same county assembly that were sitting in separate parts of the county, Mr. Speaker. That tells you that there is a problem in that county. But before we get there, Mr. Speaker, we unfortunately must ask ourselves whether this matter is properly before us as a house. That is a question, and the